Hey guys, what's going on? How are you? Welcome, welcome. So glad that you all are here. Sorry, it took me a second to kind of figure out how to get on the live, setting it up early. So I'm glad that you are here. Welcome. Listen, if this is your first time with me, my name is Alicia Brown, and I help homeschooling families, parents, actually, with any students who are in grades third through 12th grade. I help you turn your students into exceptional writers. And today, I am going to be unpacking some curriculum that you really need to be checking out if you have a student in K through 12. Now, I love a curriculum called the Institute for Excellence in Writing if you are looking for a solid writing curriculum for this coming school year. And so today I'm going to go through a few of the recommendations that I provided earlier this week, and then we're going to focus on the public speaking piece of curriculum that the Institute for Excellence in Writing has. So let me show you a couple of things that I've already recommended prior to today because I want to make sure that you know what it is that you might want to be putting in your shopping cart. So if you're new to me or you're new to the Institute for Excellence in Writing, I homeschooled. I guess, oh my goodness, it's been way over a decade. My oldest child, soon to be 21, I have a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 16-year-old. We've been home day one. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we have taken some excursions. We homeschooled their formative years. We have taken some excursions out of homeschooling into public school, charter schools, and private schools. And then my two middle kids, they came home their end of high school years, they homeschooled. So I have two homeschool graduates. I have one child who graduated from private school who also homeschooled his formative years. And then my 16-year-old who's a rising junior, she is coming back to homeschool her last 2 years. So I'll have three homeschool graduates and a child who homeschooled who ended up graduating from a private school. So that's just a little bit of background. The reason I am going live is because the base writing curriculum that we used all the way through our homeschooling years was the Institute for Excellence in Writing. And I said I had four kids. My four kids, if you are just getting here, they're very close in age. So if you are a parent who has children who are very close in age, I highly recommend this particular curriculum because you can combine your kiddos so that you are not having to do so much. So I am going to really unpack the intro to public speaking curriculum here tonight, but I do want to share some of the previous recommendations that I wanted to, or that I mentioned earlier this week, because free shipping is from July 1st to July 10th for the Institute for Excellence in Writing. So if you're trying to figure out what you're going to do in the fall, what you're going to provide your children in the fall, this is a great curriculum to consider, but it's also a lot, right? There's a lot of decisions that we have to make. And so I want to make those decisions a little bit easier for you so that you can know what you want to do for the fall. So if you have any questions, I'm answering questions live as well. So talk back to me. I come from a call and response culture. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat or to tell me if you have used this curriculum, to talk to anybody else who's here and let us know, what has been your experience with the curriculum. So let me just kind of walk through a few of the things I recommended earlier this week. So the first thing I recommended, I'm trying to recommend things that really you can purchase and use with your children all the way through. So the first thing I recommended earlier this week was something called the Student Resource Package. This is a supplemental resource that supports students from K through 12 utilizing the Institute for Excellence in Writing. And what I love about this resource, first of all, the price point. The price point is $25. I shared earlier that it was probably the best $25 I ever spent. I have been using this since my soon-to-be 21-year-old was 8. So this has been, again, the ROI on this. All these years and $25, you can't beat this ROI. So if you're looking for something that gives you the posters, the visual representation of how your child is going to plan before they write, how your child is going to add descriptive language to their writing, those are the two main skills that IEW teaches because they're called the structure and style. They teach the skills of structure and style. You definitely want to put this in your shopping cart this week because this is something that all of your children could use no matter what age they are. The second thing that I recommended you check out is something called theme-based writing. Now, structure and style is the strategy or the framework. There's different frameworks that your children are going to be taught through or are going to be taught and going to learn using the Institute for Excellence in Writing. But the tool that teaches their framework is either the theme-based writing tools and resources or the video-based writing tools or resources. So what that means is theme-based is basically, all right, how does IEW walk you through, and by IEW I mean the Institute for Excellence in Writing, how does it walk you through and walk your child through the processes that they have to help them become exceptional writers. So theme-based allows you and your child to utilize sources and write about topics all about one particular subject all year while learning the Institute for Excellence in Writing's framework. So this is just one of a ton of different themes. So they have advanced U.S. history-based writing, they have adventures in writing, they have ancient history-based writing, they have they have medieval history-based writing, they have something about science, they have fables, myths, and fairy tales, they have the Narnia series writing. So there's lots of different options that you can choose from. The nice thing about these options is you can go to, and I'll probably show you, I'll need to pull this up. They have an IEW pathway where you can say, all right, where is my child in their reading level? So you actually decide based on their reading level. If they are reading at a 3rd through 5th grade reading level, then I will look at everything in that particular area and I can choose a theme-based lesson that will work in that particular area. Now, what I want to mention here is I love the price point of theme-based writing, but what you want to consider if you're trying to pick something for your children is you want to make sure that you understand that this is assuming either you as a parent are making sure that you have gone through the teacher training or you are working with a certified Institute for Excellence in Writing instructor, which I am one of those. The next recommendation I gave before I get into what I'm going to talk about tonight is the SSS program, which is the video-based tool. So I just mentioned, again, no matter what you choose from a writing standpoint, you can choose either the theme-based writing lessons, which walk you through the entire process that IEW teaches, or you can choose the video-based program. This here on the screen right now is their video-based program. So when I was talking about, all right, if I have a student who's reading at a 3rd through 5th grade level, if I would like them to walk through the process that the Institute for Excellence in Writing has, but I want Andrew Pudawa, the person who set up IEW or who is the founder, to do the teaching for me so that all I have to do as a parent is be the editor, then SSS is what you're looking for. So notice this starts, again, if your child is reading at a 3rd through 5th grade reading level, it goes all the way through high school. So all of these programs, whether you are choosing what I recommended earlier, which is theme-based, nice price point there, or you're looking at the video-based options, they will take you all the way through, and they will have options all the way through high school for you. So what does that mean for you as a parent? What that means is you do not have to figure out what to do year to year. You can literally just go from this level and walk your children through all of the levels and have all the support that you need. Now, today, though, we are going to focus on the recommendation I have for day 6. Okay, so this is day 6 out of 10. I'm going to go live at 9 every night during this free shipping time frame so that you can kind of ask me questions and I can walk you through some of the things I recommend the most that IEW has to offer. So today we're going to be talking about the Introduction to Public Speaking Forever Streaming, or DVD. This is actually kind of new. They came out with this pretty recently. And this is a wonderful curriculum if you want to take your children's writing experience and help them to elevate that to, again, build public speaking skills. I taught this for the first time in 2024, 2025. One of the students that I coached got actually first place in their public speaking competition. He won, I think the prize was $1,000. So this is a wonderful thing that IEW has. So I'm going to break down why I like the introduction to public speaking. This is for, if you notice, for students who are in grades 6 through 8 or 9 through 12. So this is definitely for if you have a middle school or a high school level student. So again, you want to make sure that you look at the grade level and ensure that your child is at that grade level. I love the price point. So for $99, you get everything you see here. And the nice thing is this forever streaming or DVD, it is video based. So you also do not have to be the teacher. This is a video based option for you. Now, again, why is this important? This is important. Again, I told you I had 4 kids. They were close in age. So for those of you who are, I mean, even if you have one child, the reality as parents is we have a lot that we are doing. We wear many, many hats. So it's important that we outsource some things because we're all the things in our home. And so if we can have something that allows us to outsource pieces of the teaching, but still comes alongside us and our children to ensure that it's taught well, this is why I highly recommend IEW's Introduction to Public Speaking. So I am going to open my box. I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to actually show you in a large format what this looks like so that you can see it hopefully up close. Hopefully the lights are not too bright. If not, I'll walk you through the samples that they have here. So let me stop sharing. All right, so I have it here. It comes in a really nice box like this. And if you're interested in the Introduction to Public Speaking, you could actually, I have another whole video on this channel that breaks down the Introduction to Public Speaking in a lot more detail. But when you get your box, you will have a binder. A 3-ring binder is very similar to the SSS program, which is that video-based writing program I showed you earlier. And then you have all of the inserts, all the content, and you would just slide it in. Inside of your binder, you have all the tabs. You have your speech templates, any memorization, your critique forms, and a tab for class notes. You also get your intro to public speaking. I ended up getting the forever streaming. And what that means is if you have multiple children, you have streaming forever. So that means you only really need to purchase a consumable. So you can purchase this separately without purchasing the streaming again at a lower price point if you have multiple children that you know are going to go through this. So let me talk about the inside of the intro to public speaking and kind of walk you through what I think is excellent. So first of all, it's broken down into 12 lessons. 12 lessons. I'm going to try something new. I'm not exactly sure if I can do this. I probably cannot. I don't know if I can change the video that I am using to share to use this video. I probably can't to like show you closer without holding up the pages. But anyhow, so I'm going to show you what they have. So first of all, there's this blue page that comes inside of this. This page lets you know that you have inside of your customer account, there are some extra bonuses that you receive other than just the folder and the binder. you are going to get access to some video files where you have example speeches, so exemplars. You are going to get a set of speech templates. You're going to get a blank critique form. You're going to get the poetry MP3 downloads for poetry memorization. And again, you'll get expository, persuasive, impromptu examples with your blue page. So there are bonuses that come. Again, this is broken down into 12 lessons. Now, what I will say is, even though it says there are 12 weeks of lessons, I highly recommend you spread this out over a full year. We did this over 13 weeks and it really just wasn't enough time. The reason why it wasn't enough time is because when you get into the meat of the speeches, and of course they're supposed to memorize to a certain level. I mean, they can use notes. They're supposed to memorize their speeches to the point where they're using notes. It takes more than a week to do that. It really takes more than a week to practice that. I would say for those weeks where they are writing, a 5, 7, 10-minute speech, give them 2 weeks for that. Even if you could stretch it out to 3 weeks, it just makes the experience through the lessons a lot more pleasant. So let me just kind of walk through or talk through the scope and sequence. So this gives you a breakdown of what is covered in every single week. So week 1, they're going to deliver a speech from a keyword outline, and they're going to learn memory and delivery techniques. For week 2, they're going to talk about speaker evaluation techniques. They're going to learn how to structure a basic speech, and then they can deliver the poems, the yak, the hen, or sea fever. I think there's another poem here. Week 3, they're going to learn about the body of a speech, and they're going to deliver. This was actually a fun week. I enjoyed it. I even did it myself because I told my students, I'm like, okay, if you have to do it, I'm going to do it too. So they deliver one stanza of Friends, Romans, Countrymen from that. Then week 4, after they've kind of gotten those 3 foundational lessons, they learn how to write the introduction and conclusion of a speech. That week, they also deliver one stanza of Casey at the Bat. Now, week 5, that's when it starts going deeper. They are going to prepare a narrative speech. Now, this is excellent. It's a 5-minute speech, and that narrative speech is going to be, they're also going to deliver their self-introductory speech that day. So, again, or that week. So, again, they learn how to prepare a narrative speech. They're delivering that week their self-introductory speech, which is 5 minutes. Week 6, the class focus is the 2 primary speech goals. They don't have to deliver anything that week. Week 7, they learn to prepare an expository speech. They then will be delivering their narrative speech, which is 7 minutes. So they would have had preparation skills taught to them, and then week 7, they'll be delivering their 7-minute narrative speech. They also learn the 3 modes of persuasion. They prepare persuasive speeches in week 9. Week 9, they also deliver their expository speech. Week 10, they learn extensive memory techniques. Week 11, they prepare impromptu speeches. That week, they also deliver their 10-minute persuasive speech. And then week 12, which is the last week of this, they have various speech opportunities. And then they give, this was also very fun. I think my students would say it was not as bad as they thought. They give a 5-minute impromptu speech. So just to kind of recap, here are the speeches that your children are going to learn to deliver in this. They'll a narrative speech. They will deliver an expository speech. They will deliver a persuasive speech. They will deliver an impromptu speech, and then a self-introductory speech. So this is extremely thorough. Definitely something you need to be in middle school and high school before you dive into this. The last thing I want to mention that I really love about this particular curriculum is the way it's laid out. So if you are using their writing program, even if you're not, what you need to know about how the Institute for Excellence in Writing lays things out, it is so organized. So if you have a child who struggles with expressive language, not expressive language delay, but executive functioning skills, or you need to have something that's really organized so that you are not guessing what to do week to week or day to day. Not only do they have for every week, like the goals for the week, which I think you can see pretty well here. Yes, you can. Then they have the suggested daily breakdown. So not only what do I do for the week, it breaks it down into what they do each day. So notice, and it has a check marks, right? So they can say, all right, day one, did I watch my video? Did I read and discuss public speaking? Did I write my keyword outline? Did I test my keyword outline? Did I read the poems that were available? Did I choose one poem? So your children know exactly what to do, and so do you. Because one thing that I cannot do as a parent is try to figure out how to do all the things when I'm trying to execute my homeschooling day or my home education day. You won't have any worries with this because it is so organized. It takes the whole week at a glance, and then it breaks down the week into days. They're broken down into 4 days. So again, you should be able to get this all done within a 4-day schedule. So anyhow, and again, don't forget to drop your questions in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you have used the introduction to public speaking, or 2 in the chat if you have not used the introduction to public speaking. I'd love to know, like, what is your experience with this particular public speaking curriculum, or have you used something in the past? Have you used something in the past that you have found useful? So just a recap. The Institute for Excellence in Writing, July 1st through July 10th, they have free shipping. The free shipping is in the show notes. So if you want to click on that link, it'll take you to the free shipping code. I am just going live at 9 o'clock each night during the free shipping series so that you know, like, what should you be considering? What should you potentially put in your shopping cart and not have to pay shipping? So if you have a middle school or a high school student, today we are focusing on the introduction to public speaking. This is an excellent skill. I really implore you. You really want to help build your children's skills in public speaking early. Now I'm going to come to you as a parent and not just as a certified Institute for Excellence in Writing instructor. I mentioned earlier that I have I have 3 high school graduates, and they're 20, 19, and 18. Part of these public speaking skills is going to come in handy, particularly if your children are college bound, or they're going to be interviewing. Well, they'll all be interviewing at some point, right? Interviewing for their jobs when they turn 15 or 16. If you have students who are entrepreneurs, they're going to have to talk to their clients or get clients. So this public speaking curriculum is fantastic because it helps to give them the skills that they need to that they're going to need in life. This is a life skill. So this is not just a curriculum. This is just not something to put on your checklist to just grab and add to what you're going to do for home education. You are actually building life skills. And I can personally say that this is super helpful, or this skill is super helpful for those real skills that your children are going to need early. Interviewing for college essays and scholarships, interviewing if they need to get clients, if they are entrepreneurs. So I highly recommend this, and it's only $99. So I love the price point of this, and you get forever streaming. So if you have, you know, multiple children, you only need to buy the consumable for that second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, however many children you have, but you get forever streaming, or you get the DVD if you're a family that travels and you don't have access to Wi-Fi all the time. You can't get the DVDs if you have a DVD player. Do those things even exist anymore? I feel like they might become obsolete at some point, but so I always get the streaming. But again, introduction to public speaking. Check it out if you have a middle schooler or a high schooler, because this is definitely for older students. And you can find me at writewithmrsbrown.com if you have any questions. Of course, I'll answer any questions on the live. I don't see any questions right now, so I don't have any to answer right now, but I'll invite you to meet me here tomorrow, where I will be talking about another curriculum that I think is super helpful, because there's a lot when you go to the Institute for Excellence in Writing's page. There's a lot to look at. So I'm just going to be breaking down the things that I think are very useful across most ages or across multiple ages that you definitely want to consider and check out if you are trying to figure out for your upcoming school year what you're going to do home education wise for your children. All right. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you here, same time, same place next tomorrow. What is it? Monday tomorrow. It's been one of those weeks, y'all. It's when the holiday and it's throwing me off. I'm like, what day is it? So anyhow, I'll see you here tomorrow. I'll be recommending another curriculum. I'll answer any question about any curriculum. I'm just going to be focusing on one at a time each day, and tonight was about the introduction to public speaking. So check it out, put it in your shopping cart. You definitely need it. You will not regret buying this. It is definitely a curriculum that keeps on giving, particularly if you have multiple children. You definitely want to check this out. So again, my name is Alicia Brown. I help home educators turn their children into exceptional writers and speakers, by the way. And if you're just hopping on, you may have missed that one of the students that I coached through my class last year, he won the first place prize for the public speaking competition that the Institute for Excellence in Writing host each year. I'm not sure they're doing it this year, but he won $1,000. So, I mean, there you go. Class paid for. So, anyhow, take good care. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and I'll be going live at 9 from July 1st through July the 10th, talking about one specific curriculum each night. Take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye.